take our first breath, we're imbued with the extraordinary capacity to dream, to envision a future limited only by the boundaries of our imagination. We dream of success, of leaving our mark on the world, of creating a legacy that will outlive us. These dreams are the seeds of greatness, the sparks that ignite the fires of human achievement. Dreams alone are not enough. They're the starting point, yes, but they're not the destination. The world is littered with unfulfilled dreams, with grand visions that never materialized, with potential that remained just that potential. Why is this? Why do so many of us find ourselves stuck in the realm of imagination, never quite bridging the gap between what we envision and what we actually achieve? The answer, my friends, lies in the critical distinction between dreaming and doing. Dreaming is easy. It's comfortable. In our minds, we can be anything we want to be, achieve anything we set our sights on, without ever having to face the challenges and obstacles that come with real-world action. Dreams don't demand anything of us except our imagination. They don't require us to confront our fears, to push past our limitations, to risk failure or rejection. But it's precisely this comfort that can become a trap. We can become so enamored with our dreams, so attached to the perfect scenarios we've constructed in our minds, that we forget the most crucial step, taking action. This is where the true test of our character lies. It's in the moment when we decide to step out of the cozy confines of our imagination and into the messy, unpredictable arena of action. It's when we choose to do, not just dream. Now, I can almost hear the questions forming in your minds. But how? You might be asking, how do we make that leap from dreaming to doing? How do we find the courage to act when the path ahead seems so uncertain? These are valid questions, and they strike at the heart of the human experience. We all grapple with self-doubt, with fear of failure, with the comfort of the known versus the uncertainty of the unknown. But let me share with you a profound truth that has the power to transform your life. Action is the antidote to fear. When we take that first step, when we commit to doing rather than just dreaming, something remarkable happens. We set in motion a series of events that begin to reshape our reality. Each action, no matter how small, creates momentum. It's like pushing a boulder down a hill at first. It might barely move, but as it gains speed, it becomes an unstoppable force. Any skill you've mastered in your life, perhaps it's playing an instrument or cooking a complex dish, or excelling in a sport. Did you become proficient overnight? Of course not. You started with small, often clumsy attempts. You make mistakes, you face frustration. But with each attempt, with each action, you improved. Your dream of mastery became a reality not through wishing, but through doing. This principle applies to every aspect of our lives. Whether your dream is to start a business, to improve your relationships, to make a difference in your community, or to transform your health, the path from dream to reality is paved with action. These actions don't have to be grand, sweeping gestures. In fact, it's often the small, consistent actions that lead to the most significant changes. It's the daily practice, the incremental improvements, the steady progress that, over time, bridge the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Consider the analogy of planting a tree. You don't simply bury a seed and return a year later to find a fully grown tree. No, you nurture it daily. You water it, ensure it gets sunlight, protect it from harsh elements. Each day, the changes might be imperceptible. But over time, those small actions result in something magnificent. Your dreams are like that seed. They hold immense potential, but they require your consistent attention and action to grow into reality. We live in a society that often celebrates only the end result, the success stories, while glossing over the struggles and setbacks that preceded them. This can create a paralyzing fear of making mistakes or falling short of our goals. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced failure along the way. The difference is they didn't let those failures define them or deter them from the path. Instead, they viewed each setback as a lesson. Each failure has an opportunity to grow and improve. When you shift your perspective to see action, even when it results in failure, as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block, you free yourself from the paralysis of perfectionism. You give yourself permission to try, to learn, to adapt, and ultimately to succeed. Remember, the person who never fails is not the one who always succeeds. It's the one who never tries. And a life without trying, without doing, is a life half-lived. So how do we cultivate this mindset of action? How do we move from being dreamers to doers? Let me share with you some practical strategies that can help you bridge this gap. First, start with clarity. While dreams can be vague and grandiose, actions need to be specific and concrete. Take time to clearly define what you want to achieve. Break down your big dreams into smaller, actionable goals. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, specify what success looks like to you. Is it starting your own business? Writing a book? Improving your health? The more specific you can be, the easier it becomes to identify the actions you need to take. Next, create a plan. Once you have clarity on goals, map out the steps you need to take to achieve them. This doesn't mean you need to have every detail figured out from the start. Your plan can and should evolve as you progress. The important thing is to have a roadmap that guides your actions. Think of it like planning a road trip. You know your destination, and you have a general idea of the route you'll take, but you remain flexible enough to take detours or change course if needed. Then commit to daily action. Remember, it's not about making huge leaps every day. It's about consistent, steady progress. Identify one small action you can take each day that moves you closer to your goal. It might be making one sales call, writing one page of your book, or exercising for 15 minutes. These small actions might not seem significant in the moment, but over time, they accumulate into remarkable progress. It's like the story of the stonecutter. Day after day, he hammers away at a rock without so much as a crack to show for his efforts. But he persists, knowing that it's not that last blow that will break the rock, but all that have gone before. And then one day, with one daring blow, the rock splits in two. It wasn't that last hit that did it, but all the cumulative effort that came before. Your daily actions are like the stonecutters' blows. Each one might not show immediate results, but together, they have the power to move mountains. Another crucial strategy is to surround yourself with doers. The people we spend time with have a profound influence on our mindset and behavior. Seek out individuals who are actively pursuing their dreams, who are taking consistent action towards their goals. Their energy and example will inspire and motivate you to do the same. This doesn't mean you need to cut ties with everyone who isn't actively chasing their dreams. But it does mean being intentional about the company you keep and the influences you allow into your life. Consider joining mastermind groups or finding an accountability partner. These relationships can provide support, encouragement, and valuable feedback as you work towards your goals. They can also help keep you on track when your motivation wanes or when you face setbacks. Remember, no great achievement was ever accomplished in isolation. Even the most seemingly individual accomplishments are supported by a network of people providing encouragement, advice, and assistance. It's also important to cultivate resilience. The path from dream to reality is rarely smooth. There will be setbacks, obstacles, and moments of doubt. Resilience will allow you to bounce back from these challenges, to learn from them rather than be defeated by them. Develop a growth mindset that sees challenges as opportunities for learning improvement. This resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Each time you face a setback and choose to keep going, you're building your resilience. You're proving to yourself that you have the strength to overcome obstacles. This self-belief becomes a powerful force, propelling you forward even when the path becomes difficult. Next, celebrate your progress. Too often we fixate on how far we still have to go, forgetting to acknowledge how far we've come. Take time to recognize and celebrate your achievements. no matter how small they might seem. This positive reinforcement fuels your motivation and encourages further action. It's like placing milestones along your journey. Each one you pass is a cause for celebration and a reminder of the progress you've made. These celebrations don't have to be grand affairs. It might be as simple as taking a moment to reflect on your accomplishments at the end of each week, or treating yourself to something special when you reach a particular goal. The important thing is to acknowledge your progress and use it as fuel to keep moving forward. Another powerful strategy is to leverage the power of accountability. Share your goals with others who will support and encourage you. Consider finding an accountability partner or joining a group of like-minded individuals who are also committed to turning their dreams into reality. Knowing that others are aware of your goals and expecting updates can be a powerful motivator to take consistent action. This accountability can take many forms. It might be a weekly check-in with a friend or mentor. It might be a public commitment on social media. It might be a formal arrangement with a coach or accountability group. The key is to create a system where you're regularly reporting on your progress and receiving support and encouragement. It's also crucial to manage your energy, not just your time. Taking action requires mental and physical energy. Pay attention to when you feel most energized and allocate your most important tasks to these periods. Take care of your physical and mental health through proper nutrition, exercise, and rest. Remember, self-care is not selfish. It's essential for sustained action and achievement. You wouldn't expect to perform at your best without proper nutrition, rest, and training. The same principle applies to achieving your dreams. Your mind and body are the instruments through which you'll turn your dreams into reality. Treat them with the care and respect they deserve. You have to have it all figured out from the start. This belief can be paralyzing, preventing us from taking those crucial first steps. The truth is that it often comes through action, not before it. As you start doing, you'll gain insights and understanding that you couldn't have acquired through mere contemplation, like driving at night. Your headlights don't illuminate the entire journey from start to finish, but they provide enough light for the next stretch of road. As you move forward, more of the path becomes clear. Action works the same way. Each step you take illuminates the next, guiding you towards your ultimate destination. This brings us to another important point: the willingness to adapt and pivot. As you take action and gain new insights, you might find that your original dream or plan needs adjustment. This is not a sign of failure. It's a sign of growth and learning. The most successful individuals and organizations are those that can adapt their strategies based on real-world feedback while staying true to their core vision. Consider the story of Instagram. The app started as a location-based check-in service called Bourbon. But as the founders took action and got their product into users' hands, they realized that the photo sharing feature was what people really loved. They pivoted, focusing solely on photo sharing, and Instagram was born. If they had stubbornly stuck to their original plan, refusing to adapt based on the feedback they were getting, we might never have had the Instagram we know today. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. Perfectionism is often the enemy of action. It can keep us stuck in an endless cycle of planning and preparation, never quite feeling ready to take that first step. You'll never feel 100% ready. There will always be more you could learn, more you could prepare. At some point, you have to take the leap. This doesn't mean being reckless or unprepared. It means recognizing that action itself is a form of preparation. It's through doing that we truly learn and grow. Each action you take, regardless of its outcome, equips you with experience and knowledge that no amount of planning could provide. In our fast-paced, instant gratification world, we often expect immediate results. But real, lasting change, the kind that transforms dreams into tangible reality, takes time. This is where many people falter. They take action for a week, a month, maybe even a few months. But when they don't see dramatic results, they give up. They conclude that their dream was unrealistic, that they're not capable of achieving it. But more often than not, they were simply on the brink of a breakthrough. Success is rarely a sudden event. It's more like the growth of a bamboo tree. For the first few years after planting, you see no visible signs of growth. But underground, the tree is developing a complex root system. Then, seemingly overnight, it shoots up, growing several feet in just a matter of weeks. Your dreams are like that bamboo tree. The actions you take every day, even when you can't see immediate results, are developing the root system that will ultimately support your success. Trust in the process. Have faith that your consistent actions are making a difference, even when the evidence isn't immediately apparent. This patience, however, should not be confused with complacency. It doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for success to come to you. It means continuing to take action, to learn, to grow. Even when the path seems long and the progress slow, your beliefs shape your actions, which in turn shape your reality. If you don't truly believe that you're capable of achieving your dreams, it becomes all too easy to give up when faced with challenges. This is where the concept of self-efficacy comes into play. Self-efficacy is the belief in your ability to succeed in specific situations or accomplish a task. It's not about general self-confidence, but rather your belief in your capacity to perform the actions necessary to achieve your goals. The beautiful thing about self-efficacy is that it's not fixed. You can cultivate and strengthen it. And one of the most powerful ways to do this is through, you guessed it, action. Each time you take action towards your goals, especially when you overcome obstacles or push past your comfort zone, you build evidence of your capability. This evidence strengthens your belief in yourself, which in turn motivates you to take more action. It's a powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. So, as you move from dreaming to doing, pay attention to your beliefs. Challenge the limiting beliefs that tell you you're not capable, that your dreams are out of reach. Replace them with empowering beliefs based on evidence of your capabilities and potential. Remember, your past does not define your future. Just because you haven't achieved something before doesn't mean you're incapable of achieving it now or in the future. Every great achiever started as a novice. What set them apart was their willingness to take action, to learn, to persist despite setbacks. What if I take action and still don't achieve my dreams? This is a valid concern. And it brings us to an important truth. The process of turning dreams into reality is valuable in itself, regardless of the outcome. When you commit to taking action, when you step out of your comfort zone and strive to make your dreams a reality, you grow. You develop new skills, gain new insights, build resilience, and expand your understanding of yourself and the world around you. These gains are yours to keep, regardless of whether you achieve your original goal in exactly the way you envisioned. Moreover, the path from dream to reality is rarely a straight line. Often, as we take action and gain new experiences, our dreams evolve. We might discover new passions, we'd uncover talents we didn't know we had, or find opportunities we couldn't have imagined when we first started. By being in motion, by doing rather than just dreaming, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. This is why the mantra, "Don't just dream it, do it," is so powerful. It's not just about achieving a specific end result. It's about embracing a way of life that is active, engaged, and growth-oriented. It's about choosing to be a participant in life rather than a spectator. Consider the story of Thomas Edison. His dream was to create a commercially viable electric light. He didn't achieve this on his first try, or his 100th, or even his 1,000th. In fact, it took over 1,000 attempts before he successfully created the light bulb. When a reporter asked him how it felt to fail 1,000 times, Edison replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I just found 1,000 ways that won't work." This perspective exemplifies the power of persistent action. Each attempt, each failure was actually a step forward, bringing him closer to his ultimate goal. It wasn't just about the end result. It was about the knowledge gained, the skills honed, and the resilience built through the process of doing. This mindset of viewing setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures is crucial in the journey from dream to reality. It's what allows us to persevere when things don't go as planned, to adapt our strategies based on what we learn, and to keep moving forward even when the path becomes difficult. But how do we cultivate this mindset? How do we train ourselves to see the value in every action, regardless of its immediate outcome? One powerful technique is to reframe our language and thoughts. Instead of saying, I failed, we can say, I learned. Instead of, this didn't work, we can say, this showed me what doesn't work, bringing me one step closer to what does. This shift in perspective doesn't just make us feel better, it actually changes our brain chemistry. When we view our actions through a lens of learning and growth, we activate different neural pathways than when we view them through a lens of failure. This, in turn, affects our future behavior, making us more likely to take action and persist in the face of challenges. Many people misunderstand visualization, thinking it's about passively picturing a desired outcome. But effective visualization is an active process that engages all your senses and emotions. It's about not just seeing your goal, but feeling it, even smelling and tasting if relevant. When you engage in this kind of vivid, multisensory visualization, you're actually training your brain. Neurological studies have shown that visualization activates many of the same neural pathways as actually performing the visualized action. This means that when you consistently visualize yourself taking action towards your goals, you're essentially giving your brain a rehearsal for the real thing. But visualization alone isn't enough. It needs to be coupled with action. Use visualization as a tool to prepare yourself for action, to build your confidence, and to keep yourself motivated. But always remember that it's the doing, not just the dreaming or visualizing, that ultimately brings your dreams into reality. Many of us have been conditioned to avoid discomfort, to seek the path of least resistance. Growth and comfort rarely coexist. To achieve your dreams, you must be willing to step out of your comfort zone, to do things that feel uncomfortable or even scary. This discomfort might come in many forms. It might be nervousness of making that first sales call for your new business. It might be the vulnerability of sharing your creative work with others. It might be the physical strain of pushing new limits in pursuit of a fitness goal. Whatever form it takes, this discomfort is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced. When you feel uncomfortable, it often means you're pushing beyond your current limitations, expanding your capabilities, and moving towards your dreams. It's in these moments of discomfort that real growth occurs. But how do we learn to embrace discomfort rather than shy away from it? One effective strategy is to reframe how we think about it. Instead of seeing discomfort as something negative to be avoided, we can view it as excitement, as a sign that we're about to learn or achieve something new. Consider the physical sensations of nervousness and excitement. They're actually very similar. Increased heart rate, butterflies in the stomach, heightened awareness. The main difference is in how we interpret these sensations. By consciously choosing to interpret them as excitement rather than anxiety, we can transform our experience and our actions. Another powerful tool in turning dreams into reality is the practice of micro-commitments. Often, when we think about our big dreams, they can seem overwhelming. The gap between where we are and where we want to be can seem insurmountable. This is where micro-commitments come in. A micro-commitment is a tiny, easily achievable action that moves you towards your goal. It's so small that it bypasses the part of your brain that resists change and triggers fear. For example, if your dream is to write a book, a micro-commitment might be to write just one sentence a day. If you want to start exercising regularly, it might be to put on your workout clothes and do one push-up. These micro-commitments might seem trivially small, but they serve several important purposes. First, they get you into action, which is often the hardest part. Once you've written that one sentence or done that one push-up, it's much easier to continue. Second, they build momentum. As you consistently fulfill these tiny commitments, you build trust in yourself and your ability to follow through. This self-trust is crucial for tackling bigger challenges, Finally, micro commitments add up over time. Writing one sentence a day might not seem like much. But after a year, you'll have written 365 sentences, the beginnings of a substantial piece of writing. The key is consistency. Small actions performed consistently over time lead to big results. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to fall into the habit of constantly comparing our progress to others. We see highlight reels of other people's successes on social media, and it can make us feel like we're falling behind or that our dreams are unrealistic. Everyone's journey is unique. Your path from dream to reality will not look exactly like anyone else's, and that's okay. In fact, it's more than okay, it's beautiful. Your unique experiences, challenges, and triumphs are what make your journey your own. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. Are you taking more action today than you did yesterday? Are you learning from your experiences? Are you moving, even if slowly, in the direction of your dreams? These are the comparisons that matter. Remember, success is not a zero-sum game. Someone else's success does not diminish the possibility of your own. In fact, other people's achievements can serve as inspiration and prove that dreams can indeed become reality through persistent action. Your environment, both physical and social, has a profound impact on your thoughts, actions, and ultimately your results. If your environment doesn't support your dreams, it becomes much harder to take consistent action towards them. Take a look around you. Does your physical environment inspire action or encourage complacency? Are the people in your life supportive of your dreams? Or do they subtly or not so subtly discourage you from pursuing them? Remember, you have the power to shape your environment. You can declutter your physical space to create room for action. You can seek out and cultivate relationships with people who inspire and support you. This doesn't mean you need to completely overhaul your life overnight. Start small. Maybe it's creating a dedicated workspace for your dream project. Maybe it's joining an online community of like-minded individuals pursuing similar goals. The key is to gradually create an environment that nudges you towards action rather than inaction. The role of habits in turning dreams into reality. Our habits, the small, often unconscious actions we perform daily, have an enormous impact on our lives. In fact, it's been said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. When it comes to achieving your dreams, the right habits can be a powerful force, propelling you forward even when motivation wanes. The key is to identify the habits that will move you towards your goals and then work on consistently implementing them. For example, if your dream is to become a successful entrepreneur, habits like reading industry news daily, networking regularly, and consistently working on your business plan can make a huge difference over time. If your goal is to improve your health, habits like preparing healthy meals, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep are crucial. The beauty of habits is that once they're established, they require much less mental energy to maintain. They become automatic, freeing up your mental resources for tackling bigger challenges and making important decisions. But how do we form these positive habits? One effective strategy is to use habit stacking. This involves attaching a new habit to an existing one. For instance, if you already have a habit of making coffee every morning, you could stack a new habit onto it, like reading a page of an inspirational book while your coffee brews, or doing a quick set of stretches. Another powerful technique is to make your desired habits as easy as possible to start. This goes back to the idea of micro-commitments. If you want to establish a habit of daily exercise, start with something as simple as doing one push-up a day. The goal is to make the habit so easy that you have no excuse not to do it. Too often, we focus so intently on our ultimate goal that we forget to acknowledge and celebrate the small victories along the way. But these celebrations are crucial. They provide positive reinforcement, boost our motivation, and remind us of the progress we're making. Celebration doesn't have to be grand or elaborate. It might be as simple as taking a moment to acknowledge your efforts at the end of each day It might be treating yourself to something special when you reach a milestone. The important thing is to make celebration a regular part of your journey. Remember, the path from dream to reality is not just about the destination, it's about who you become along the way. Each action you take, each challenge you overcome, each lesson you learn shapes you. By the time you achieve your dream, you'll have become the person capable of achieving that dream. And that transformation is worth celebrating. The journey from don't just dream it, do it is not always easy, but it is always worthwhile. It's a journey of growth, of self-discovery, of turning potential into reality. It's about taking that crucial step from the comfortable realm of imagination into the challenging but rewarding world of action. Remember, your dreams are not just idle fantasies. They are glimpses of what you could become, of the impact you could have on the world. But they remain just that, glimpses, until you choose to act on them. So I challenge you to take that first step. Transform your dreams from ethereal visions into concrete goals, and then into lived realities. I don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you feel completely ready. The perfect moment to start is now. Your dreams are too important, your potential too great, to be left languishing in the realm of what if. You are not just a dreamer, you are a doer. You have the power to shape your reality, to create the life you envision, to make a difference in the world. But that power is activated only through action. So go forth and do. Take that first step, then the next, and the next. Let your actions speak louder than your dreams. Let your efforts outshine your intentions. Let your reality become a testament to the power of turning dreams into action. The world is waiting for your unique contribution, for the dreams only you can bring to life. Don't keep it waiting. The time for dreaming is over. The time for doing is now. Your journey from dreamer to doer starts today. Embrace it with all your heart. Pursue it with all your strength. And know that with each action you take, you're not just changing your own life. You're changing the world. The future belongs to those who are willing to do more than dream. It belongs to those who are willing to act. It belongs to you. So I ask you one final time, what will you do today to turn your dreams into reality? The choice is yours. The time is now. Don't just dream it. Do it. The alarm blares, piercing through the quiet of dawn. Your hand reaches out, fumbling to silence it. For a moment you lie there, eyes still closed, feeling the weight of the day ahead pressing down on you. It would be so easy to hit snooze, to roll over and drift back to sleep. But something inside you stirs, a quiet voice, barely a whisper, urging you to rise. This moment, this choice to get up and face the day is where your journey begins. It's the first step on a path that will challenge you, push you to your limits, and ultimately lead you to a place where you can look back with genuine pride at how far you have come, what it truly means to. Don't stop until you're proud. This isn't just a catchy phrase or a motivational poster slogan. It's a philosophy, a way of life that can transform not just your achievements, but your very essence as a human being. Pride, real, authentic pride, isn't something that's handed to you. It's not found in empty praise or participation trophies. True pride is earned. It's forged in the crucible of challenge, tempered by perseverance, and polished by dedication. It's the result of pushing yourself beyond what you thought possible, of persevering when every fiber of your being screams for you to quit. Start a story of Amara. Amara grew up in a small village where opportunities were as scarce as rain in a desert. Dreams in her community were often treated as frivolous luxuries, impractical in the face of daily survival. But Amara dared to dream big. She wanted to become a doctor and bring quality health care to her community. The odds were stacked against her like an insurmountable wall. Her family, though loving, couldn't afford to send her to school beyond the primary level. The nearest university was hundreds of miles away. Might as well have been on another planet. And in her village, girls were expected to marry young and tend to their households. not pursue higher education. But Amara refused to let these circumstances define her destiny. She worked odd jobs during the scorching days, tending to neighbors' fields, selling hand-woven baskets in the market, anything to earn a few extra coins. When the sun set, her real work began. By the flickering light of a kerosene lamp, she pored over discarded textbooks, absorbing knowledge like a sponge. She sought out anyone with a bit of education, pestering her with questions, soaking up every morsel of information they could offer. When the opportunity finally came to take the university entrance exam, Amara hadn't slept properly in days. Her eyes were red-rimmed from endless nights of study, her hands calloused from work. But in those eyes burned a fire of determination that no hardship could extinguish. Against all odds, Amara passed the exam, but this victory was just the first step on a long, arduous journey. She had no money for tuition, no place to stay in the big city that housed the university. Many would have seen these obstacles as insurmountable, a sign to give up on their dreams, but not Amara. She wrote letters, hundreds of them, to every organization, every potential sponsor she could find. Her words carried the weight of her dreams, the fire of her determination. Most went unanswered, but Amara didn't stop. She couldn't stop, not when she had come so far. Finally, after months of uncertainty, a small non-profit organization responded. They offered her a partial scholarship, not enough to cover all her expenses, but a lifeline nonetheless. Amara grabbed onto it with both hands. Her journey was far from over. To make ends meet, she worked night shifts at a local hospital, mopping floors and changing bed sheets. During the day, she attended classes, her mind sharp despite her exhaustion. There were moments when the weight of it all seemed too much to bear. Moments when the voice of doubt whispered that she should give up, that she was foolish to even try. But in those moments, Amara would think of her village, of the children who died from preventable diseases, of the mothers who suffered without proper care. She thought of the pride in her parents' eyes when she passed the entrance exam, of the hope she saw in the younger girls of her village. And she kept going. Years passed. Years of struggle, of sleepless nights, of doubt and fear and perseverance. And then one day Amara stood on a stage, dressed in a graduation gown, a medical degree in her hands. The pride she felt in that moment wasn't just for herself. It was for every obstacle she'd overcome, for every person who had believed in her, for every late night and early morning that had led to this moment. But even then, Amara didn't stop, because true pride, the kind that comes from relentless pursuit of a worthy goal, isn't a destination. It's a journey. Amara returned to her village, not as a conquering hero, but as a servant. She established a small clinic, facing new challenges, lack of equipment, skepticism from traditional healers, the enormous health needs of her community. But she faced these challenges with the same determination that had carried her through university. Years later, when asked about her journey, Amara said something profound. She said, "I am proud of what I have accomplished, but I am not done. There's still so much to do, so many lives to improve. I will keep going until every child in my village, in my country, has access to the health care they deserve. That's when I will be truly proud." Amara understood a fundamental truth about pride. It's not about reaching a single goal and then resting on your laurels. It's about continual growth, about setting new challenges for yourself, about always striving to be better than you were yesterday. I can almost hear some of you thinking, but that's an extraordinary story. Amara overcame incredible odds. My challenges aren't that dramatic. How does this apply to me? Every journey towards pride, towards self-fulfillment, is extraordinary in its own way. Your mountain might not look like Amara's, but I guarantee it's just as challenging, just as important. Maybe your mountain is starting a business in a competitive industry. Perhaps it's going back to school while juggling a full-time job and family responsibilities. It could be overcoming a personal weakness, breaking free from a destructive habit, or healing from past trauma. Whatever your mountain is, the principle remains the same. Don't stop until you are proud. Real. Earned pride. It's not about comparing yourself to others. It's not about achieving some externally defined measure of success. True pride comes from within. It's about becoming the best version of yourself, about living up to your own potential. Potential is a funny thing. It's invisible, intangible, yet it shapes everything about our lives. Your potential is like a seed planted deep within you. That seed does not grow on its own. It needs nourishment. It needs care. Most of all, it needs your relentless effort to bring it to fruition. Many people go through life never realizing their full potential. They settle for less than they are capable of, content to stay within their comfort zones. Living below your potential is a tragedy. It's a disservice not just to yourself, but to the world that needs the unique gifts only you can offer. Reaching your potential, living a life that makes you truly proud isn't easy. Everyone would do it. It requires sacrifice. It demands perseverance. It calls for a level of commitment that many aren't willing to give. What's the alternative? Living a life of what ifs and if onlys. Reaching the end of your days and realizing you had so much more to give, so much more to achieve. No, my friends, that's not the path for you. You are here because you have felt a stirring in your soul. That hunger for more, you are here because deep down, you know you are capable of greatness. The journey to pride, to fulfillment, isn't a straight line. It's not a smooth, steady climb to the top. There will be setbacks. There will be failures. There will be days when you feel like you are moving backwards instead of forwards. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every setback, every mistake, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become stronger. When you go to the gym to build muscle, what are you actually doing? You are creating tiny, teeny muscle fibers. It's in the healing of these tears that your muscles grow stronger. The same principle applies to your journey towards pride and fulfillment. Each challenge, each setback is creating tears in the fabric of your character. And as you persevere, as you push through, you are healing those tears and becoming stronger in the process. This one is about a man named Marcus. Marcus was in his 40s, working a steady but unfulfilling job in middle management. He had a comfortable life by most standards, a decent salary, a nice house, a loving family. But something was missing. There was a gnawing emptiness inside him, a sense that he was meant for more. Marcus had always had a passion for teaching. As a young man, he dreamed of becoming a teacher, of shaping young minds and making a difference in his community. But life had taken him in a different direction. Financial pressures, family expectations, and his own fears had led him down a safer, more conventional path. For years, Marcus had buried his dream. He told himself it was too late, that he was too old to start over, that he couldn't afford to take the risk. But the dream refused to die. It whispered to him in quiet moments, haunted him in his sleep. Finally, on his 45th birthday, Marcus made a decision. He decided that he couldn't live with the rigor of never trying. He enrolled in a night program to get his teaching credentials, all while continuing to work his day job. It wasn't easy. Marcus would wake up at 5 a.m. to study before work, then rush to his classes after a full day at the office. He'd come home late, exhausted, only to do it all again the next day. There were times when he questioned his sanity, when the voice of doubt told him he was being foolish. His colleagues at work didn't understand. Why rock the boat? They'd ask, I've got a good thing going here. His family was supportive, worried about the strain he was putting on himself. But Marcus persevered. He kept going by the vision of standing in front of a classroom, of making a real difference in young lives. And 2 years later, he did just that. At the age of 47, Marcus stood in front of his first class as a full-time teacher. The pride he felt in that moment was indescribable. It wasn't just pride in achieving his goal. It was pride in having the courage to try, in persevering through the challenges, in proving to himself that it's never too late to pursue your dreams. But here's the really beautiful part of Marcus's story. The pride he felt that first day was just the beginning. As he threw himself into his new career, as he saw the impact he was having on his students, Marcus discovered a depth of fulfillment he had never known before. Years later, when asked if he regretted not making the change sooner, Marcus said something profound. He said, "Every experience in my life, even the years I spent feeling unfulfilled, led me to this point. They gave me the perspective, the life experience, the resilience I needed to be the teacher I am today. I am not proud despite my journey. I am proud because of my journey." Marcus understood something crucial about pride and fulfillment. It's not just about reaching a goal. It's about who you become in the process of pursuing that goal. When I say dot while, don't stop until you are proud, I am not advocating for a life of endless striving with no joy in the present. That's not pride. That's a recipe for burnout and dissatisfaction. True pride, the kind that fills you with a deep sense of fulfillment, involves appreciating the journey as much as the destination. It's about finding joy in the process of growth, in the daily acts of discipline, perseverance that move you closer to your goals. A master craftsman creating a beautiful piece of furniture, yes, they take pride in the finished product, but there's also pride in each stage of the process, in selecting the perfect piece of wood, in the precise cuts, in the smooth sanding, in the flawless finish. Each step is an opportunity for excellence, for growth, for pride. Your life is that piece of furniture. Each day, each decision, each action is a part of the crafting process. Don't wait until the finished product to feel proud. Take pride in your daily efforts, in your small victories, in your resilience in the face of setbacks. The journey to pride, to fulfillment, isn't a solo endeavor. Yes, the drive must come from within you. Yes, the effort must be your own. But we are not islands. We are part of a broader community, a larger tapestry of humanity. Your journey to pride should not only be about personal achievement, it should also be about the positive impact you have on others. Because true fulfillment, the kind that resonates in the deepest parts of your soul, comes from knowing that your life has meaning beyond yourself. Remember, we rise by lifting others. And there's a special kind of pride that comes from knowing you have made a positive difference in someone else's life. Fear is a natural part of the human experience. It's a survival mechanism that's been hardwired into us over millennia. In our modern world, fear often holds us back more than it protects us. The fear of failure can paralyze us, keeping us stuck in unfulfilling situations because they are familiar and safe. The fear of the unknown can prevent us from taking necessary risks, from stepping out of our comfort zones where growth happens. The fear of others' opinions can lead us to play small, to dim our light so we don't stand out. Fear is often a compass pointing towards growth. If something scares you, if it makes you uncomfortable, it's often a sign that it's worth doing. Because on the other side of that fear, that discomfort, is growth. And with growth comes pride. The things you are most proud of in your life, were they easy? Did they come without fear or doubt? Probably not. They were likely the things that challenge you, that push you out of your comfort zone, that maybe even terrified you at first. Reframe your relationship with fear. Instead of seeing it as a stop sign, see it as a green light. When you feel that fear bubbling up inside you, recognize it for what it often is. A sign that you're on the brink of something important, something transformative. This does not mean you should be reckless or ignore legitimate dangers. But it does mean that you shouldn't let fear be a deciding factor in your life choices. Feel the fear, acknowledge it, and then do it anyway. Because that's where pride lies, on the other side of fear. Your mindset, the way you think about yourself and the world around you, shapes everything about your life. It influences how you interpret events, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately, what you believe is possible for yourself. There are two primary mindsets that people tend to have: a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. People with a fixed mindset believe that their abilities and intelligence are static. They believe that you either have what it takes or you don't. This mindset often leads to a fear of failure, a tendency to avoid challenges, and a belief that effort is fruitless. On the other hand, people with a growth mindset believe that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. They see challenges as opportunities to grow, view effort as the path to mastery, and learn from criticism instead of ignoring it. The beautiful thing is that mindset isn't fixed. You can cultivate a growth mindset through conscious effort and practice. It's about reframing your thoughts and beliefs, challenging your assumptions, and embracing the power of yet. When you encounter a difficulty, instead of saying, I can't do this, add the word yet to the end. I can't do this. Yet, this simple addition opens up a world of possibility. It acknowledges your current limitations while simultaneously affirming your capacity for growth and improvement. Developing a growth mindset is like tending to a garden. You plant the seeds of possibility, water them with effort and persistence, and patiently nurture them as they grow. Sometimes you might face storms of doubt or droughts of motivation, but with consistent care, your mindset will flourish. This shift in mindset can have profound effects on your journey to pride and fulfillment. When you believe in your ability to grow and improve, you are more likely to take on challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and ultimately achieve your goals. Consider the story of Lila, a software developer who had always struggled with public speaking. In her mind, she was a dot behind the dash scenes person, not someone who could command a room or inspire an audience. But when a crucial project at work required her to present to the board of directors, Lila knew she had to face her fear. Initially, the thought of speaking in front of such an important group paralyzed her with fear. But instead of giving in to that fear, Lila decided to adopt a growth mindset. She told herself, I am not a great public speaker yet. With this new perspective, Lila threw herself into preparation. She joined a local Toastmasters group to practice speaking in front of others. She worked with a coach to improve her delivery. She rehearsed her presentation countless times, each run through a little better than the last. The day of the presentation arrived. Lila was nervous, but she reminded herself of how far she'd come as she stood in front of the board. Her voice shaky at first, she focused on her growth, on the journey that had brought her to this moment. By the end of her presentation, Lila had not only successfully conveyed her ideas, but had also impressed the board with her clarity and confidence. The pride she felt in that moment was immeasurable, not just because she'd given a good presentation, but because she'd overcome her own limiting beliefs and grown in ways she never thought possible. Lila's story illustrates a crucial point about the journey to pride and fulfillment. It's not just about achieving external goals, but about overcoming internal limitations. The pride Lila felt came not just from impressing the board, but from proving to herself that she was capable of growth and change. This brings us to another important aspect of the "don't stop until you are proud" philosophy, the role of self-compassion. It might seem counterintuitive, but being kind to yourself is actually a crucial component of achieving pride and fulfillment. Many people mistakenly believe that being hard on themselves, constantly criticizing their efforts and achievements, will drive them to do better. But in reality, this harsh self-criticism often has the opposite effect. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and a fear of taking risks or trying new things. Self-compassion, on the other hand, involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a good friend. It means acknowledging your mistakes and shortcomings without judgment. recognizing that imperfection is a part of the human experience. When you practice self-compassion, you create a safe internal environment for growth and learning. You are more likely to take on challenges because you know that even if you fail, you won't berate yourself for it. Instead, you will treat it as a learning experience, an opportunity for growth. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall down countless times, but they don't give up. They don't criticize themselves for their lack of balance or coordination. They simply get back up and try again. And with each attempt, they get a little bit better. As adults, we often lose this natural resilience. We become our own harshest critics, berating ourselves for every misstep. But what if we could recapture that childlike persistence? What if, instead of harsh self-criticism, we met our failures with curiosity and compassion? This does not mean making excuses for yourself or avoiding responsibility for your actions. It means acknowledging your mistakes, learning from them, and then moving forward with renewed determination. Self-compassion also allows you to celebrate your successes more fully. When you are not constantly criticizing yourself, you are better able to recognize and appreciate your achievements, no matter how small they might seem. Remember, the journey to pride and fulfillment is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about consistent effort over time. How about getting back up every time you fall? And self-compassion is the fuel that will keep you going on this long journey. The power of purpose. Having a clear sense of purpose can be like a North Star, guiding you through the darkest nights of doubt and uncertainty. Your purpose is your why. It's the reason you get out of bed in the morning, the driving force behind your efforts and sacrifices. When you have a strong sense of purpose, obstacles become challenges to overcome rather than insurmountable barriers. Purpose not always obvious or easy to define. For some people, their purpose might be clear from an early age. For others, discovering their purpose might be a journey in itself. If you are struggling to identify your purpose, start by asking yourself some key questions. What activities make you lose track of time? What issues or causes stir strong emotions in you? If you could change one thing about the world, what would it be? Your purpose does not have to be grandiose or world-changing. It can be as simple as being the best parent you can be, or creating art that brings beauty into the world, or solving problems in your chosen field of work. The important thing is that your purpose resonates deeply with you. It should be something that excites you, that makes you feel alive when you think about it. When you align your actions with your purpose, you will find a wellspring of motivation and resilience that can carry you through even the toughest challenges. Think about Amara and Marcus from our earlier stories. Amara's purpose was to bring healthcare to her community. Marcus's was to inspire and educate young minds. These purposes gave meaning to their struggles and sweetness to their successes. Having a clear purpose also helps you make decisions. When faced with a choice, you can ask yourself, which option aligns best with my purpose? This can simplify decision-making and ensure that you are always moving in a direction that's meaningful to you. Remember, your purpose can evolve over time as you grow and change, as you have new experiences and gain new perspectives. Your sense of purpose might shift. That's okay. The important thing is to stay connected to what truly matters to you. In our pursuit of pride and fulfillment, it's easy to become singularly focused on our goals. We might work ourselves to exhaustion, neglect our relationships, or sacrifice our health in the name of achievement. But true pride, lasting fulfillment, can't come at the expense of our overall well-being. Balance does not mean giving equal time to every aspect of your life. It means giving appropriate attention to the various elements that make up a fulfilling life walk. Relationships, health, personal growth, relaxation, and so on. Think of it like a symphony in a beautiful piece of music. Not all instruments play all the time or at the same volume. Sometimes the violins take center stage. Other times it's the percussion or the woodwinds. But all are necessary for the overall composition. Your life is that symphony. At different times, different aspects may need more focus. During a crucial project at work, your career might take center stage. When a loved one is ill, your relationships might need more attention. The key is to ensure that over time, all the important elements of your life are attended to. Remember, the goal is not just to achieve, but to live a life you can be proud of. And a life you can be proud of is one that's rich and full in all aspects, not just in terms of accomplishments. Pride is not a destination. It's a way of traveling. It's found not just in the big victories, but in the small daily choices to show up, to try your best to be a little better today than you were yesterday. I don't stop until you are proud, but also be proud of how far you have come. Be proud of your resilience, your courage, your willingness to grow and change. Be proud of the impact you are making, however small it might seem. And most importantly, be proud of who you are becoming along the way. Because in the end, that's what this journey is all about, becoming the best version of yourself. A version you can look at in the mirror and say, with genuine pride, I am proud of you. The moment you have been waiting for has arrived. The curtain of mediocrity is about to be pulled back, revealing the extraordinary individual you were always meant to be. We are about to challenge everything you thought you knew about success, fulfillment, and personal growth. We are going to shatter the illusion that your worth is determined by the applause of others. Instead, we will unlock the immense power that lies within you, the power to prove yourself to yourself. Imagine for a moment a world where your actions are not dictated by the opinions of others, a reality where your dreams are not constrained by societal expectations, a life where your true potential isn't buried under layers of fear and self-doubt. This world, this reality, this life, it's not just a fantasy. It's your birthright, waiting to be claimed. The journey we are about to embark on isn't for the faint of heart. It requires courage,